I'm Farhan Dalla, transformational trainer, and welcome to Elevate Your Life, a transformational podcast, an invitation to take the journey towards your deepest self. It is my intention to inspire you to connect, move, and meditate. We'll tap in, tune in, and dive in, and together learn and reflect from authentic, real, and transformative conversations. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I realize that Pride Month is now over. We're into September, but there were still a few guests that I really wanted to have on this particular series called Queer Relief. And it took some patience and scheduling, but here we are, and I'm excited, but I'm also very nervous about today's topic. If you've been following since season 1, you know that I've had two amazing mediums as guests. The first, Dr. Kathleen Ripley Green, and the second, Jody Levon. Well, today I also have a medium, and her name is Galit Deri Shearouse. She's an incredible, powerful, amazing human being and medium. We've been friends for many years. We met at a workshop for mediums in Kennebunkport, Maine, in the United States that was led by world-renowned medium John Holland. And as soon as I saw her, I was immediately drawn to her energy, and I introduced myself while we were on a lunch break. And from there, we've shared the most amazing friendship. She's a member of my tribe, my soul family. I cannot say enough words about her. To give you a bit of a background about Galit, she's a mother of 3 amazing girls, and she has used her gifts as a form of service to help parents who have lost a child. And I will have all her contact information in the notes for this episode. But please, everyone, welcome to the show, Galit, my dear friend. Hi, Galit.
Hi, sweetie. How are you? It's been so long.
I know. I mean, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank
When I,
you.
when I thought about having another medium on, because I have a lot of medium, yeah, I have a lot of medium friends. You were definitely someone that I've wanted to have on the show, and when it came to
Mm,
this particular topic, I thought you would be perfect for it. And so, um, I think you're an incredible person. You've known me for many
mm,
years. We have an incredible
yeah,
bond.
for
Uh,
sure.
yeah, we've shared a lot of life's journeys together. And, just as a reminder to people, I do have mediumistic abilities, but I don't do this professionally. I have dabbled and I've done some readings in the past. I leave this uh, to the true professionals, people like Galit.
You
Um,
are too.
thank you. You're too kind.
Mm,
Um, but Galit, because to my audience, you're new. I want
mm.
to give them an opportunity to get to know you. So why don't we start the conversation by you giving us a little bit of background about how you developed your intuitive or psychic abilities as a medium?
As a medium, it didn't develop completely until I was probably 30 years old.
How did it
I didn't,
start?
well, I was 9 years old actually when I went to bed. I went to sleep. My parents were sleeping already, and I felt my grandfather around, and I'm feeling like I'm having a heart attack as a little kid, like because my heart was pumping so hard and like I couldn't breathe. So after that, I'm thinking to myself as a kid at 9 years old, what is going on? But I can see my grandfather like standing in front of me. I opened my eyes. I thought I was dreaming, and I was trying to stop my heart from racing so fast. And I see him standing there in the middle of the night. So I freaked out, and I ran to my mom's bedroom, and I'm waking her up, which was not allowed to wake them up at that time. She's sleeping, she's sleeping. So I'm like, Grandpa is dead. Grandpa is dead. And she goes, go back to sleep. You're having a nightmare. I went back to sleep, and I woke up in the morning, went to school like nothing happened. She came to pick me up. I was in the car. She's like taking me to my grandparents' house. I'm like, we're not going home? She goes, no. So when I got there, I find out that my grandfather passed away. You know,
Wow.
sh and she didn't acknowledge it, didn't say anything to me. That was it.
Wow.
And from
And
there, it was not mediumship. I knew things that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I knew things about people that would come over to the house. Like I would know their zodiac sign out of nowhere. I would know if they bought a car just now. I would know if they just went for a trip, where they were, and I just didn't connect with spirit at that age.
Right.
That was, yeah,
And so, one thing we learned in John Holland's workshop is that all mediums are psychics, but not all psychics are mediums. And
right.
so when did the mediumship sort of part come in for you?
At almost age 30,
Mm-hmm.
because and now I know why it took so long. I was working full time and somewhat more than that. I was so busy all the time. It was a very hard time for me at that time, make money. I was not doing very well. I had my first child at 27. So in the mind was so cluttered, and he was so worried about, financial stuff and other things. And I'm a first time mom. So I was totally shut down until then, I feel. And even in my teenager years, I worked after high school. So I was always so busy, and my mind was always so worried about other things in life, that I don't think that I even pay attention to any of
Mm-hmm.
it. It was just not, I was like almost closed up, meaning like my brain was closed up. Spirit could not even, I feel that when it's the right time, not only for you, the guides would know that this is the right time for you in life to connect, because obviously they want you to connect with the highest intentions. They want you to connect correctly. And at that time, until age 30, I wasn't in the right place
Mm-hmm.
in my life.
And you must have been open to it though, at least, right? I would
Yes,
think. Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
believe that if you're medium, you're born medium. And I believe that you always have it. It
right,
just wasn't my time yet to continue to start this up like in the right direction.
right. And so the first time I saw you in action, quote unquote, was in Maine when,
Yeah,
in as part of the workshop, John Holland put you on stage.
yeah.
And I was like, wow, she is amazing. And it's funny because that same workshop he had put me on stage too.
Yes, I
And
remember.
and that was
You
the
were so
first.
scared.
I was so scared. I'd never done what we call gallery type reading. So, you could see a medium one-on-one, which is very
Mm,
different. There's only one person that you're reading
true,
for. But in a gallery style reading, you're standing up in front of an audience. And though
true.
I had experience as a speaker and presenter and aerobics instructor, fitness leader, I had never gone up in front of an audience and done a reading. And so that was my very first time. But when you went up there, you were such a
I was
pro. You were,
you I think you forgot. Do you know? No, for real, because I never done a group reading
was
before.
that your first time?
My first time, and my
Wow.
biggest fear
Okay.
in my life is
Right.
to speak in front of audience. I freak out. I
Right.
wouldn't even present my project in school. I would skip the day of presenting because I would be so scared. I'm so embarrassed and scared to present and talk in front of people, if you
Right.
can believe it. Yeah.
No, I would not believe it because I've seen you since. And whatever that fear is, even if you have a little bit of it, you certainly
Yeah.
used it in a way to, give you the energy that you need to get up there. So you've what we call channeled that energy and
Right.
overcome it. And I've seen you and you're incredible. Um,
Thank you.
can you briefly describe your process for connecting to, spirit on the other side? And because everyone's different, but how does that work for
Right.
you?
Pretty much, I don't use tools. I meditate before I have a reading. Um, for me, it's just I'm there. Come and
Mhm.
use me. I, I I mean, I'm open. I'm ready. This is the right time, and I would like you to help me to connect, and that would be it. That's it.
Mhm.
I Yes, I don't use cards. I don't use, crystals or anything. I don't ask any questions. Usually nothing.
Just you're the vessel.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I've seen you in
yeah.
action, which and it's incredible. And when when we dive into that part, I'm excited for people to experience your process because I certainly have.
Mm.
Um, So I know, and you know, that when we want a reading from someone or a medium, we can't always control who comes through. We can't always control what the information comes through. Um, and so today, I know that you and I have talked, and I've asked for a reading in particular. I know who I want to come through. I'm not gonna be specific and say what I want to hear and what questions I have. I've done a prayer and an intention
Okay.
on what I want answers to. Um, I First of all, you haven't listened to any of my season 2 podcast yet, have you?
No. Mm-mm.
Perfect. Okay. And then
Sorry.
no, don't apologize. I think that's great because I didn't want you to have a backstory of the theme or the questions and know very little as possible. I just want you to do your thing. I just want you to stay open. And as I've always heard you, and that is to be completely unfiltered, to just give what you get and
Mhm.
not hold back.
Okay, with your permission.
You have my permission. And I know whatever is meant to come through is meant to be,
Sure.
right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to just take deep breaths.
Yep. Me too. Okay. Right away, there's a male coming, and it's an older male. And he is saying, I'm the grandfather. And I'm feeling it's dad's side of the family. And I'm telling you, there is a J name. It's not the American name. So there is a J to it. It might be your mom's side. But I'm feeling like it's your dad's side for now.
Okay.
Hold on. And he's showing me fields. They show me fields that I did stuff with my hands. I grew stuff. Um, I'm feeling like I'm in what they show me is a farm like in Israel that we grew tomatoes, we grew cucumbers. But when I'm saying that to you, I don't want you to be fixed on it was tomatoes and cucumbers because it's it might not be exactly, but if it is, it is. So he's showing me that he didn't grew in a um he didn't he didn't grow up in a city like New York City. He didn't grow up in LA. This is far and this is totally in like like a farmer like area. And he's saying I'm the grandfather. That's your mom's dad or your dad's dad. And he was an important figure, and they had money. They come from money, he says. And I see um the house that they lived in. There is a wall like surrounding the house, like high wall, so nobody can really walk in there. And I'm coming from a pretty known family, he says to me. Anyone that you can think about, your grandfather from each which side?
Okay. The idea from money sounds like it's coming more from my mom's side, but I was never told or given the impression that there was money. I do
Yeah,
know from
they're well known.
they're well known, absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
well
Dad's
known.
side, not well known as much, I would think. Again, both grandfathers passed away on both sides before I was born, so I'm going back into the history of what I was told and what I remember. Um, the J name, I
It
cannot.
it sounds with a J in the middle of his
Okay,
name because it's not American name. So where do I see fields? I see all the fields. This is not a city. This is not New York or LA. I mean, not Florida either. This is like far. This is a different country, and it's in a different. Because I'm from Israel. I was born in Israel, and
hmm,
there is fields. I didn't work in the fields. My family didn't. We didn't
right.
grow anything, but that's what he's showing me that there is,
Okay.
and
Do
this
you
is
want me to tell you where I was born?
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
I was born in Tanzania, East
Uh
Africa,
huh.
and both grandfathers were born there as well. One, I want to say, was from Zanzibar, which is like an island off the coast of Tanzania.
Hmm.
Um, so
So
yeah,
what house am I describing, and where is it? So where is it
so
at? Which one?
So what I'm thinking is the house
Uh-huh.
of my mom's father, because that was a very big
Okay.
house.
Yeah, and there's big wall to nobody can come in, like out around it if you find out.
That's possible. I don't know if I can validate that. I just know that it was a very big house.
Right, but I'm feeling like my community has a guard gate. This they don't have a guard gate. They're
No.
just like it's like high, so no, like in Costa Rica, if you would live in Mexico, if you live, they have if you for security reasons.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So they had
Right.
a wall, a big wall around. So if you ask and look for pictures, you'll find it.
Okay. I do have pictures of that house. I can go back and look,
Yeah.
but from my memory,
Okay.
I can't
Yeah.
recall.
So he's just coming around to let you know that's your mom's dad.
That's my mom's dad. If it's that
Okay.
house, yeah, because
Yes,
I
it
have
is.
no information about
Yeah.
my dad's like
Okay.
father's house.
Right.
I
Right.
would have no information on that.
Okay. So the well-known family is from your mom's side. Okay, and that's what he's talking about. There is fields outside. You'll see that. You'll find out. Trust me. And he is bringing. He's bringing a kid that passed away in the family,
Hmm.
and this was from a sickness, but it was fast, and
Yes.
nobody understood what it was about. So
Uh,
where is the J again? He keeps telling me there's like there's uh, a ab, ab, ab,
there's, I can give you the name.
there's an A abj. What am I?
Mumdali. I,
No,
okay.
that's who. That's
That's,
your grandfather.
that's my grandfather, Mumdali.
But he's talking about the I'm whoa Abdul no Abdul ab it's ABJ. This is not a American name. It's so
No,
hard.
none of us had American names, but I don't
The
know that
person,
one.
the kid that
That passed?
that passed. Yes, do you know the name?
Yes, it was
Okay.
Shirley.
Oh, why is he telling me this name?
That was my
Because
mom's brother.
okay, okay. What's the last name, if I can ask you?
Ismail.
S what?
Ismail. Ismail Ibrahim was the last name.
Abraham. Okay. I just said to you, I couldn't figure it out. That's it.
Okay, so Ismail Ibrahim, yeah.
Okay, okay. And if I understand that I hear ES something, but I bet you there's a J in the middle somehow. I'm telling you, and Ibrahim is the last name.
Ibrahim with an I B R A.
Okay,
Yep,
so but for me it sounds like an Abram. You understand?
got it. Yeah, of course.
Okay, sorry. This
No,
is
that's
how it
fine.
goes.
Okay.
Okay, so he's bringing the son, the son that passed away with him. I don't know why they go like that. Okay, that's fine. Um, this is not something I don't know, but I know your mom passed away and she wants to come through.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, okay. Uh, I know you, you know me. I
Right.
know of your mom. I never met her in person.
That's correct.
Right. Um, I know your mom passed. I just want everybody to know what I know because I don't feel comfortable, with, saying stuff
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
but obviously she, she loves you so much, which anybody can tell you that. I don't like to start my readings like that, but she's so grateful to the taking care that you have done. You dedicate your life to her. You were there for her 24/7. And she says, I never used those words. I never really told him that. I have never said that directly like this. He knew that I do. He knew I loved him. He knew that I was grateful. In her own way, she showed you how she was grateful and that she loved you. But those words, I'm grateful. Thank you for doing this every day for me. You put your life on hold totally, and you took care of me, for doctor's office visits to putting nail polish on,
I did do
right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. She said, but I've never really actually said that. And she wishes she did when she was here. And she wants to thank you for cooking pancakes.
Okay.
And she wants to thank you for taking her once a week, I want to say, to this place that she used to, you guys went to get something to eat, and that was her favorite, and she would look forward to it, and it wasn't far. It wasn't far from your apartment, she said, and she loved it. She was it's sweet. Or it's an ice cream or it's a dessert, some kind.
Gelato. Yeah. We went for gelato on Saturday evenings.
And you actually allowed her to eat it, she
Of
said.
course. and,
She's
and
a
she would
pickle.
order a double scoop and she would eat the
Oh,
whole thing.
good for her. Are you kidding me? And she goes,
Mhm.
well, that was only once a week, and he would not let me eat any sugar at all. She was on what? On a restricted diet? What?
Yeah, she was diabetic, and so I would, I would monitor what she ate, and I would make celery juice for her in the morning, but she just hated it. Like she
I
made the
hate it.
most, she made like the most, you know, um, she just made the worst face every time she saw it coming. But
Yeah.
at night, every night at around 9:30, while she watched her soap operas, I want to say like the Indian
She would
drama
get a
shows,
treat.
she would say, "Okay, I'm hungry," and then I would say, "Okay, what do you want? What junk food do you
Yeah.
want?"
Okay.
Yeah. So every
So
night
she got a treat.
she would have something, some form of a treat for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
But we would go out in
that's
the summer for gelatos. That was our thing. It was a way for us to go out and spend time
oh,
together. Yeah.
and she loved it. And that's what she's telling me,
And
that
I
you
loved it
she
too. Like it was definitely, you know, time together. Like,
yeah, not in the house, she said, and not doctor's visits and appointments. But she she said no one did that for me. No one did it but you. Nobody
mm,
was there for me like you were. They would come and visit. She's talking about other kids, your sibling.
mhm.
Uh, all from far. You know what I'm saying? Meaning nobody really took care of me the way you did. And I wish I could say it to you, to say in words exactly how she felt about it when she was here. Not now only, but she wants to say it anyway because this is their way of, showing, because she didn't do it when she was alive. Yeah. And she says, hold on. Go ahead, ask me something.
Um, so you and I have known each other for many years, but I've never really told you about my coming out experience in detail.
No.
And it wasn't until this year that I publicly talked about how that went down with my parents and
Where did you talk about it?
on this podcast.
Oh, okay.
I recorded, what went down. And I think for me, I've been carrying what I feel is weight from that whole
Hmm.
experience. And I want to label that weight as guilt and shame. Guilt because of the pain that I feel like I caused her and my dad.
And she goes, hold on, hold on. She goes, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. As far as me as a mom, you were always my son. I loved you with my heart. My mouth had to be speaking as I was expected to, if that makes sense. What she's saying is, no matter what everybody else said, and even I said, she's talking about herself, certain things to you when you came out, I always felt you are my son, you're my child. I don't care what your preferences is. But she never actually told you that. She never told you that, she says, never.
No.
And the opposite, she's saying, I feel bad and I regret saying certain things that I said to him in the beginning when you just came out. Can I say?
Yeah, you can say it.
Okay. Like she's saying, I told him he needs to be fixed. Meaning to me, when she's saying that, meaning we need to fix you somehow with a doctor, or we need to fix you to, because in her, the way she came from all mentality, okay? She came from a family that this is not acceptable. Nobody can talk about something like that. Even the community is going to look at you like, in the whole family, we're going to be shamed or something like that. That she cannot stand up for you whatsoever. And she knew she cannot stand up for you. And she did try to stand up for you with your dad. When you came out, she's telling me, your dad was beside himself. He was upset. It's putting lightly, okay? Saying something is wrong with him. There's no way he can do that. There's no way we're gonna allow anybody to know that he is gay, that and we were all gonna be looked at as crazy people in the community. This is not okay. This is a shame. Blah blah blah. So when he was saying that in the beginning, which was probably the first week when you came out, she says to me, he doesn't even know, you don't even know, that I, in the bedroom at night, when he was telling you after days, he was pissed off, she said, and he would say certain sentences to you, certain things, certain words to you. It got up enough for her, like you, as a mom, she was so upset over that she told him at night, one of the nights, that you need to take it easy on him. And he goes, don't you ever tell me what to do first. Don't you ever tell me that you even thinking that it's okay. And for her, that was a big thing to do, to even speak to her husband in that kind of way. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
And she said, I did stick up for him. When I tried to talk and he came at me, he actually pushed her into the wall. He didn't hit her, nothing. He said, don't you dare ever talk like that. Don't you tell me that this is okay with you. This is not okay with our family. We're not approving this. It's never going to be approved that he is gay, blah, blah, blah. And she stopped it right then and there. And she's telling me that she even told you that you need to be fixed. They need to fix you. They need to help you. So, or it's sending you to a doctor to be fixed, or she told you that.
Yes, that's what happened.
Okay. And then
they wanted to send me to a doctor, or I guess my dad wanted to send me to a doctor in India. And this was communicated to me through
from
my
your
mother.
mom.
Yeah. He never spoke to me about it. Ever.
But you understand it's not her information, correct? You understand that?
I do that. I do know that now. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And that's
because
what
when
saying.
and for people who have heard my first episode know that when she communicated to me what he said to her after she said to him that I was gay, he said, my son has this problem. As though it was like as though it was like an issue that needed medical attention.
Yes.
And his solution was, let's take him to India and we'll find a doctor to fix him.
Oh, okay. So that's it.
So that's
it. Exactly.
So that's what was communicated to me again via my mom, but not my dad.
Right. Right. And was other solutions they were trying to come up with and stuff like that, she's telling me. But the main thing she wants you to know that it didn't come from her. And she also wants you to know that, again, she repeating the same thing, that in her heart, you were her son, you were her child, no matter what you are, no matter what color, it didn't matter. But there was no way she can stand up for you because of her upbringing, that you listen to your husband, you don't answer back, and this is from her family even, where she was raised. It's not acceptable. The community is not gonna tolerate this, and she's gonna be almost like, I say it because my English,
Like
like excluded,
ostracized?
like,
Yeah,
yes,
ostracized. Yeah.
yes, and your dad would not put up with it. She's telling me even the siblings, the brothers wouldn't. They would not accept that. It's unacceptable. You don't even talk about it.
We
So
never
it
talk
didn't
about
come
it.
from her, right? It didn't come from her. And she said, to me, in my heart, he was always my kid, my child, my son. And didn't, it's not even about you taking care of her afterward, like every day, like she said before. It's before that. When you came out, it was what? Okay, so you hold on. Yeah, okay. Um, she's saying, I'm taking you back when after you came out, right after you came out, and years like 2, 3 years after that, even she always felt that way. It's not because you took care of her. So don't even think that way, she says. Not
Mhm.
because you dedicate so much of your life. You stopped your life for years. Like I see like 5 years at least in taking care of her.
Yeah, it was 5
Okay.
years. Yeah.
Okay. So please don't feel, because we have a tendency as human, as kids, to say, well, maybe she only saying that because she feels bad that I took care of her so much and I was so nice to her. Maybe she's only saying that because, what she said, I need to be fixed, blah, 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 all this stuff. And now she felt bad because I was taking care of her for so many years, that she's saying, you know, you're my child. I always accepted you. She said, please let him know that I stood up for him and I was shut down that one night. And please let him know that he was always my child. That's my thoughts, my feelings, my heart has nothing to do with because you're the only sibling, the only child that really took care of her 24/7. So she wants to make that clear to you.
Okay. I understand.
Okay.
I felt always our bond of love, and I felt it grow stronger, especially in the years that I was her caregiver.
Right.
Those moments that we would just sit on the couch holding hands and
Yes.
watching
Oh, yeah.
TV, or when we
She's
would go out
telling
for
me.
gelatos, or when we would do exercises together.
Mm,
I felt every day like
that's her
our
way.
bond of love, like, and I
Yeah.
know that I felt that, and that's not something that you can imagine
Right.
or fake. I know that that existed, and I guess I've still carried the shame because of what she said, because she didn't unsay it at any one time.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
even, okay, so my father passed away, and then she had, I don't know, 5, 6 years to still tell
Right.
me, and she never did. And I'm left to assume what you've told me
Hmm.
is true, but why didn't she tell me?
Like she said before, it's not acceptable. My family, the way I was brought up, your brothers would would not allow it. The community will be, are you kidding me? This is not acceptable. This you that she'll be, I again that word,
Ostracized?
yes. I mean, even now in these days, you say to me, well, she's not living, you know 30 years ago. This is now. Why isn't she saying this stuff? Because even in the community that you're in now, when your brothers are around, your dad, yeah, passed away, and I see 5 years. I told you before, 5 years that you took care of her. Even now, from church, the people, your aunts, your uncles, she cannot stand up for you and say that this is okay. I'm sorry that I said what I said and I accept you the way you are. She could never say that because God forbid you go say something to your brothers, they're gonna tell her off. They're gonna come and tell her, "How dare you? This was not. That's not okay. We don't believe in it." And the church people and your aunts and uncles would not agree with her to say that. This is something that she's not allowed to say. She was so raised so. It's almost like a brainwash, like a cult. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying she did come from there, but
Mhm.
the way she was upbrought in her childhood to as a woman, as a wife, through your dad and your uncles and your brothers, tell me today that if what I'm saying is not correct and what she's telling me. So there's no possibility that she can, even in your private time between you and her, she was scared to say that. She was scared to say that to you again, because she's saying, if one day you and your brothers got into a fight or argument, and you, God forbid, said something, oh, well, mom said she doesn't care that I'm gay. Mom doesn't care that I'll live with a man. Something like that will come out. She'll be demolished by your brothers. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm. And
If that makes
I guess that was her belief system too, right? Like we'll never really know.
no, like she said before, it's not my words. It's what was in my mind and my heart. I knew this is my son, and I love him no matter what. I could not stand up for your dad, she said, could not stand up for the community against, them and agree with you ever, because the way it was. Did she feel that in the beginning when you came out, that it was something that, her belief or her upbringing, it was would be okay with? No. But deep inside, as a mom, she's tapping into me. No matter, I mean, yes, I'm younger. I'm not from the same generation, but she says, can you imagine to see your kid going through abuse, let's say, and you can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. Your hands are tied. Your mouth is tied. You cannot say anything. That's the biggest heartbreak. This is for a mom. It's the most difficult thing to watch. And she's saying, that's what I felt. It broke me inside. It broke my heart. I tried one time and I was shut down in such a way that I knew in this lifetime, there's no way I can agree. No way I can tell him that it's okay with me, that he can do whatever he needs to do. This is his life. No.
Yeah, and it sounds to me part of this was a fear of the men in our family.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, and that sort of
it's being
patriarchal construct of
yes.
Yeah.
Well, my both grandparents are from Morocco. My dad was born in Morocco, and where they tap in is my information, my life. So there's no way that you can. If my dad said, "Go bring me a cup of coffee," I cannot say no. There's no such a thing. And my mom has to have the food ready for him when he comes home. And if there's no salt, he'll be upset. The plate will fly on the floor. This is the way they were raised. So you, as a woman, you have no say whatsoever.
Yeah.
And especially for a subject like that, this is a no. And when she tried that one night, she was shut down mentally, physically. That's not going to happen. Don't you even think about being agree with somewhat even. She didn't even finish her words in the sentence to what she wanted to tell him. And she was shut down.
Got it. I guess I've carried that shame for so long, and I'm just ready to let it
she's
go.
stopping you. She's
Yeah.
stopping you right now again. She goes, you even said that you knew without, you remember how she said, I never really actually told him I love him and that I'm grateful for all he has done for me. She said, okay, here you go. You told me just now, and you told whoever's listening that you had those moments that you knew when you were doing exercise, or you would hold hand on the couch when you watched a movie with her.
Yeah.
That's her way of showing. That's the only way she knew how to show you that I am grateful, that I do love you in unconditional love. You were her baby, she says. It's my baby. She was in control of you, meaning like that's the only person I could be. She's laughing at you like she could tell you off when she wants. Nobody
She
else.
did. She absolutely did.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
She never held back her words and her opinions.
With you.
Yeah, with me.
Yeah.
And so attached. Like, I mean, every time September rolls around, I remember when I was leaving for university, and he was leaving to go to a
Oh
school that
yeah.
was a 5-hour flight away. I went to the University of British Columbia to do my
That,
undergraduate.
that was like the end for her.
She
Meaning
was,
crying, she was a mess. She
she
misses you.
was,
You need to
yeah,
she goes, you needed to check in when you go there, you need to check in when you come back, you need to check in when you go to lunch. She's
yeah.
like, she needed to tap on
Right.
you. She was putting her schedule. She's
Oh
like,
my
she
God.
loves you. See?
She, like, my friends had come over to say goodbye. We were all leaving for, different schools. I was going the furthest, and she came running into the living room in front of all my friends, broke down and
Oh,
cried, and she said, "Why are you
oh.
leaving me?"
Me, you see?
Yeah,
How
as though I was doing this
cute.
to her. And so all my
Mm.
friends kind of quietly left the room and just let us have some time together. And you would think that, as I got older, that would change, but it never did. And as you know, and many people know, I lived in India for about 8 months to train,
Yes.
a Bollywood star named Deepika Padukone. And when I went to tell her that I'd gotten this incredible opportunity and I would be going to
Oh.
India, and she said, "Well, I'll have to think about it and I'll let you know if I'm willing to go." And I
That's
just
so
thought,
cute.
I'm not asking your permission. I'm letting
Yeah.
I'm in my 40s at this point, and she's thinking that I'm asking her if I can take the
Oh,
job. And she just laid it on thick. I'm old now and you want to leave
yeah.
me. And it was like,
Oh,
whoa, hold on. And I called her every day. I remember,
yeah.
I traveled all over the world with Deepika, and no matter
Oh,
where I was, I
she's
called her. Like, no
she
matter what
said,
the time
yeah, she
zones,
was
whatever.
she was
Mhm.
saying you needed to check in with her when you get there. You need to check in
Every
with her when you go
day.
to lunch
Yeah.
every day, every second. But you see, whoever's listening to you would say, she talked to you like that. How can she not talk against everybody else?
Yeah.
In their opinion. You see, with you was totally different. She was herself. She was able to be herself.
Mhm.
She it was able to express herself at least. You know what I'm saying? Like I said from what I feel from her. She goes, I was in control of him. She didn't mean it in a bad way, but you see, that's what you're telling me. She's like, you're not going. I have to
Oh my
think
God.
about that. Yes,
Yeah.
that's funny.
No, she definitely had, I mean, maybe control is not the right word, but she knew how to
Right.
keep me
Yeah.
close.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
See that. And she goes, thank you for asking me to come around tonight too.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, did
It's
you put a perfume?
I have her perfume with me. I'm not wearing it right now, but I do have.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep it by my
Uh,
bedside and sometimes I put it on.
okay. She said she just brought this information. Hold on. You took care of my feet. You always took care of my feet and my legs. You always did. Um, Thank you for massaging them. I'm feeling like I'm in a hospital bed and you're doing that. I feel like almost reflexology. Thank you. It felt so good. It felt so good. She goes,
Hmm.
because you're very gentle. Oh my God, you're a physical trainer too. I
Yeah,
forgot. You see?
physiotherapist. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
You forgot that.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Um,
Yeah. I'm a physical
and he
therapist.
put music. Thank you for my music. My
Hmm.
music. I don't know if it was meditation or white noise or whatever you call that that you put in there when she was in the hospital.
In the
Thank you
hospital, I would, yeah.
thank you for drawing. Thank you for the drawing. Thank you for
Mhm.
bringing the color pencils. That's what she's saying. Color pencils.
Yeah, I
Because they
would
kept
take
her busy.
coloring books. Whenever she was in the hospital, I would take my coloring books and I would sit with her,
Uh-huh.
and she would pick like which color to do where because she couldn't hold the pencils with her hands
Yeah.
because of the arthritis. So I would color for her, and then I would say, "Okay, which color, Mom? Where do you want me to, color?"
Uh,
I would sit with her for hours, and we would just color as a way to pass
okay.
time and stuff.
That's
Yeah.
what she's talking about and the music. And she's talking about doing her legs and her feet, and you always took care of that. Um, she goes, I don't know what he was thinking, that he's the doctor sometimes. Like you would tell the doctors, no, she's not doing this. No, she's doing that. I don't know what she's talking about.
Um, I can't think of specific examples, but
Huh.
I mean, I knew her medical history really well.
Uh-huh.
And I would have to advocate for her sometimes to get her into certain, programs.
Oh, okay.
So I think, I've learned through being in the hospital many times between my grandmother, my dad,
Mm-hmm.
that if you don't advocate for the patient, you don't get all the services that they could acquire, right? So
I get it.
I
Yeah.
would definitely know who to speak to, or if I didn't, I would find out. And I
Right.
and I would advocate for her to get additional therapies or home services, because I know that, in this country, what services are available. And I learned very quickly how little they tell you sometimes about what you can have access to. So I would
Uh,
definitely advocate for her to receive those services.
okay, because she's making me see the picture of her in the bed or coming to the hospital too. That's few times, and you just like blah 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 telling them. You know what I mean? So she's like
Mhm.
not as much as she's saying, "What do you think to your doctor?" But it was almost like I'm so proud because I didn't need to do anything, and this is he's so knowledgeable. He spoke for me. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
guess because you knew her record, like you said.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. So she wants to tap back into the I'm sorry. It's a shame that I'm doing it now and I couldn't do it before when I
Mhm.
was here and tell you those in those words. But him and I knew that we have an unconditional love, especially the past 5 years. That's after your dad passed away. And then she felt more comfortable to show you. And I'm not saying say, to show you in her ways that she did. So if you tap into your heart, she goes, and really look through all the times we were together, not just hospital visits. I'm not talking about that. You will see that your mom acted totally different with you than any of your siblings. She would never hold hands, let's say, and watch a movie with your brother. She said,
Right.
nope, that's not going to happen. So please tap in there, she said, because I didn't give you disclosure. I never said it in words. And you will find inside your heart the place and the words that I was supposed to say, because all these times that we had and that we did spend one on one, and it was not just being at home and cooking for her. It's sitting down after you cooked, and she's like, I love this. This is the best pancakes. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This is her way of saying, I am grateful. I love you. So please tap into that, into your heart and in your memory bank, and see all these times that was cherished between you and her. And you will find those words, she said, not even through me
Mhm.
as a medium.
Okay. Yes, I agree, and I feel finally that I have let go of that weight.
Please, y'all.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good because
Yeah.
it sits on our heart too, the same way that it does for you. You know, for a
Yeah.
mom not to be able to say, for a mom not to be able to stand up for a child. It's the hardest thing you can endure, really, it is. And even in her old age, even if you were just you and her, there's no possible way. She had to show you in different ways that she can, that she loves you that much. And no matter what you decide to do with your life, she'll be okay. And she was, and you knew, she's saying, you knew that I love you unconditional, just not letting you go to India. Just her way of saying, you're mine, you can't leave me.
Yeah.
I'm nobody without you. I can't without you. That's her words. So there's no way you
Mm.
can tell me today that you don't hear it from her
Right.
if you tap. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we sometimes have to let go of the idea of how we want to be loved and be open to receive the love that is actually being given to us and
Yes,
receive
and
it
then
the
it
way
comes
it's
in
being
different
shown.
forms.
Yes. Yes, it definitely does.
So, I mean, I grew up also with a family that never said I love you. I never heard I love you from my mom, but
Mhm.
she had her ways of showing me how she loves me. So it's for a daughter to grow up like that. It's difficult because, I wanted my mom next to me. I wanted, to be
Mhm.
loved by my mom all the time. But I was being loved by my mom, just not told I love you in words.
Mhm.
So I had to learn how to, okay, she doesn't know how to say I love you, the words I love you. How do I see that she doesn't love me? Does she do that she doesn't love me? What does she do that shows me that she does love me? It took me many years to understand that and to accept that, because our brain is like in the movies. Oh, if you love me, you're gonna tell me you love me. If
Right.
it doesn't work like that all the time.
Yeah.
This is not how, this is my personality. So I had to change, because I wasn't told that I was loved by my mom or my dad ever, not even one time. From when I have kids now, that first day they were born, I mean, I love them when they were in my stomach, but to actually say it, I said that from the minute I saw their face, because I knew when my mom didn't say, it was bothering me. So I had to change that.
Mhm.
So I bet you when you have kids, your kid's gonna know you love them, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you all
Are
the
you
time.
saying,
Because
wait, wait, are you saying I'm gonna have
yes,
kids?
yes, yes. I'm saying you're gonna have kids, and it's gonna be fast. It's gonna be soon. Yes, mom says that, not me. Yeah,
Oh
woo-wee.
my
She goes,
God. Okay,
yeah,
because I mean,
it's
it's still a topic on the back of my head. So I
yeah,
I mean at
definitely.
this point, part of me feels
Yeah.
like that ship has sailed.
Don't.
So,
I was just gonna. Don't say that.
but
No,
if you're saying
no.
I'm gonna have kids, then
And
I'm
she goes,
not sure.
You're coming from a family that we lived for a long time. Don't worry, you're staying around. That's so funny.
Oh
So
my
you're
God.
staying around for a long time. So there's no, I'm too old for this or blah blah blah. I'm not doing this. Yeah, there's two kids coming up.
Two kids.
Two. Yeah, one after the other. Yeah, that's cool. Ciao. I want to see. I want to see. Yeah.
Oh, breaking news,
Thank.
everyone.
Yeah. I want to thank you again. She says, for calling me tonight to
Mhm.
connect with for me. She can connect with me. You told her that.
Mhm.
Thank you for looking at my picture. Thank you for going into my room. I don't know what it was, but you did something like that. She's telling me to get her in, to come through tonight, and she did.
To her
Yeah.
room. I often go in a room to, sometimes I'll lay in her bed. I'll do that. And sometimes I'll just open the door and look inside. And,
Mm-hmm.
this October will be 3 years since she transitioned, and I
Mm.
haven't cleared her stuff out yet. Like, not everything. The
You're
dressing
gonna donate.
table is
Yeah.
exactly the way it was.
Everything she showed me. You just
Yeah.
change the comforter.
I've washed the comforter for the first
Okay.
time. I think it was like at the 2 year mark. I washed the sheets.
Okay.
I hadn't touched anything. I just, I'd given some stuff away, and obviously you've seen the artwork that I did with some of her clothes, but I haven't emptied her drawers, and I haven't emptied her closets, and I've made arrangements sometime this month with a cousin of mine who's going to come with me to help
Mm-hmm.
me through that process, because I don't think I could do it by myself, but I haven't cleared out her closet yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be done. You'll be done within 2 months. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it will
Um,
be.
so just to tell you, I mean, I don't say these things in the beginning, which I did for you, but she loves you. She
Yeah.
loves you so much. You were her life. I mean, you were there for her 24/7. I mean, she's grateful. She worships you. It's like you were my life. Everything, every day. You did more than anyone that she can ever expect it to be done. You're the only one who did things for her. And she is very grateful. And she loves you, and she is very proud of you. And
Thanks.
it doesn't matter what your preferences are. For her, she's saying you were always my child. You in my heart, you're there. This is who. You're
Mhm.
my kid. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I feel so
Yeah.
much better. I want to thank you for, first of all, your friendship, for
Me too. Same.
being my soul family, and what you've given me today. is something I'll never be able to, put in words just how much it has meant to me. I feel I can finally let go of that weight completely. And though I
Good.
probably knew in my heart
Yes.
everything that you have said, but I guess I hung on to needing to hear what I wanted to hear in the way that I wanted to hear it. And though, a shift in my perspective has allowed me to see that I did receive the love and acceptance that I wanted.
Just look inside. Just look in your
Yeah.
memory bank of the times you shared that were very,
Mm-hmm.
very significant for her. There
Okay.
were so many moments that she looked at you, you
Mm-hmm.
looked at her eye to eye, and you knew, oh my gosh, Mom, please don't even say thank you because I know you're grateful. I know you appreciate what I'm doing.
Yeah,
That's how I
that's so
was.
true. Galit, as we wrap up this conversation, I think I have one more question for you.
Sure. Hmm.
You have, spoken to or connected and communicated with so many spirits and loved ones on the other side. What would you say or share with us today would do you think is probably the greatest lesson or message that we need to know and hear in this earth life?
Jeez. From spirit?
Yeah. And there could be more than one, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so much. First of all, from because I do most of my readings are for parents who lost a child,
Yeah.
which is very difficult. And when a person, you know, get the opportunity to talk to a medium and spirit is there and ready for the person that's lost their child or lost loved one to sometimes they say, to not only the medium or anybody that, around their friends, family, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. It's so difficult for spirit. Can you imagine pass, a child, whoever passed away, trying to contact their loved ones who are here suffering and, in pain, and their loved ones are saying, we don't believe in that. So
Mm-hmm.
and it's not easy to do. It's for spirit is to connect and to tap into a medium and relate messages, and for a parent or whoever, that lost their child or their loved one to say we don't believe in that. It's difficult, meaning I can't even explain it. That's the one thing people ask me, does spirit ever get upset? And I'm like, I've never experienced them being upset. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing I can really remember all the time is when there is an opportunity to connect. And it's like you lost your child for 2, 3 years and you can't find them, let's say. And then there's somebody who's coming to tell you, look, I know where they're at, and there's no, I don't. No,
Mm-hmm.
there's no such a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know where my kid is, and this is your opportunity to find out, to get a message from someone that you lost and you refuse it. So I don't think I'm answering your question because spirit just wants me to say that for some reason, and
Okay.
I'm not sure why am I saying that for you right now. And they just want to let you, whoever, know that please open up that box. Don't just think so, in the box. Be open to things. Because when we try to connect, you most most people who lost someone would love to know, what I'm saying, something from
Mm-hmm.
their loved one.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and when you get to a person that says, "Oh, I don't believe in that stuff," it's a letdown for spirit. I'm saying, like, that's the only time I felt like the spirit is being agitated or aggravated. I don't know how to say it.
So it sounds like what you're saying, and my interpretation is that if you're going to speak to a medium, at least have an open mind about the experience.
Yeah, and if you have an opportunity to even hear from someone who you lost,
Yeah,
just let it be.
let it be.
Let it be.
Galit, I'm
Be
going to have,
yeah.
all your contact information in the description of this podcast. I think you do amazing work. You do an incredible form of service, especially working with people who are in deep pain,
Yeah.
especially when you're talking about people who have lost a child. You brought up the brother that my mother lost at a very young age.
Yeah.
Um, and you've read for me before. I think one of the first readings you did for me was when my own brother had come through. And this was the brother that my mom and father had before me, who passed away, who I never got to really meet. And so I have a little brother in spirit, or older brother, sorry, in spirit, who was very young when he passed away. And he came through on a reading, and I remember the huge impact that had on me. So I'd love for people to be able to connect with you, to be able to speak with you, and hopefully, find a message or get a peace or resolution like I did today. I can't express again, and I'm going to take some time to integrate everything that you said, obviously, and re-listen to
Yeah.
this so that I can get the most out of this. But I know how I'm feeling right now, and it would be great for others to be able to have that
Yeah.
opportunity too. So I thank
Yeah.
you with all my heart,
Thank
with
you.
my soul. I
Love comes
really,
in different ways. Please
yeah,
don't forget that.
yeah, maybe that's the message.
Love comes in different ways for each one of us.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you more, honey. Love you. Thank you.
I'm Farhan Dalla. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's episode of Elevate Your Life, a transformational podcast. I hope today's conversation has elevated you in some way and inspired you to connect, move, and meditate. I'd really appreciate your support by following and rating this podcast. Come back soon and join me for another transformative conversation.